Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore. And in the last part, we got our little steamy scene. It was a beautiful CG, and it was a touching moment, quite literally. And then we had our bodies were together all night, whatever. It actually, however it was worded. But anyway, hi. Got a little inappropriate with Dante. Or very appropriate from my perspective, and I didn't have to read anything super cringy, so look at that. And we're just continuing in chapter 9. So this is the last chapter, so I don't know if we'll get the ending in this part, but we're definitely on the way to it, so. I woke up in the middle of the night. There was still time before sunbreak. I tried to wake myself from a deep sleep when I noticed something wrong. Where's Dante? He was nowhere in sight. Where in the world would he go in the middle of the night? As I sat up in bed, I noticed I didn't have anything on me. I mean, of course! I hurriedly pulled up the bedsheet over me to cover my body. Huh? I noticed something peculiar and touched my chest. Oh my god, is that okay. My mark. What happened? It didn't hurt, but it looked like the mark had changed in color. That's the 8th sacrament. It's getting late! Are you serious? Look. When he was fighting Lon, I was really like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be like we have to throw ourselves in front, sacrifice ourselves for him, and then that's it. And then no. But then it was like when we were making out with him, I was like, oh god, this is not gonna be it, is it? This is not gonna be the key that breaks the lock. I know that was bad, I'm sorry. But oh my god. And it was maybe it was supposed to be the acceptance and the love and like the trust, but like seriously? Church is a little freaky, isn't it? Okay. Awake already? Yes, I just woke up. Dante, where were you? It's still dark outside. I was just making a call. You should rest a bit longer. We still have time until morning. Just relax and go back to sleep, not unless you're with me. Dante urged me to go back to bed. I gazed drowsily at his face. I could see his long eyelashes and blue eyes sparkling like gems in the dark. What's the matter? No, nothing. She's like, I'm glad you came back. Everyone in like the modern age is like, you wake up, where's Dante? Oh, that son of a bitch! You played this game just to get like, you little bitch! And then he walks back in and you're like, oh, never mind. I'm good. I felt my face grow hot, thinking about what happened before I fell asleep. Please don't make me live it. I can imagine it. It's fine. I don't want to have to read it. He seemed to realize what I was thinking. He quickly shifted his eyes away from me. I love the fact that he's blushing too. That's even cuter. Instead of being like, yeah, do this all the time with all the ladies. You know what I mean? He's like, you know. He's more like, oh, yeah, I mean, he's just as innocent as we are. It's so cute. We were still shy over what happened, but we went back to sleep together. That's so cute. I'm gonna vomit. I love this game so much, and I think that's why, but like, I think even if I was like, oh my god, she's a pain in my ass, if we were in this situation, and it was like, he's all blushy and awkward, like, oh my god, just as awkward as us, it's fucking cute. Like, it makes me want to vomit, but it's in a good way. You're like, it's so cute. Because we're always the derpy dorp, like, oh, I'm embarrassed. When you see your love interest embarrassed, it's actually cuter. You're like, oh, it's cute. Because they're not always constantly embarrassed. They have moments, just like she has in this game. And that's what I appreciate. She has embarrassed moments, but it's not 90% of her personality is always embarrassed. Like, you know what I mean? The night ended. We had breakfast later than usual, and I disclosed to Dante what I noticed. By the way, it looks like the mark on my chest is red now. Did you get hurt last night? No, not at all. He's like, did I hurt you? And you're like, oh dear, no. Besides, I doubt I'd hit my chest hard enough to bruise it. He's like, I mean... Dante? Oh, let me take a look. Huh? But that would be embarrassing. I was a bit flustered at his request, but I could tell he wasn't joking about it. In fact, he was quite serious. Also, I can kind of understand this. What? You just... you saw more than just that. So, okay. I hesitantly nodded in agreement. Okay, here. Even nowadays, if you had a tattoo, maybe if you have a tattoo and you're like willing to show people, but like, let me just open my shirt and pull my boob. It'd be awkward for anybody. Oops. Oh, and okay, glad we did this. I didn't even know until someone pointed it out somewhere else. And I was reading like, how do I know the flower actually does fucking change color? The one that's over on the left there. I didn't even know that was a thing. Did it say that anywhere? Am I just dumb and I don't know how to read? Like, whatever. We're following a guide, so it doesn't matter. But that's how you can tell. Because I went back to an older save, and it's literally, like, barely just the outline. And this is like, oh my god, it's got white, which is barely different than the screen color. And then the green in the center, that was not there. And I was like, what? That's how you can tell what how your relationship is going with them. Are you good or bad? I mean, we're using a guide, so it doesn't really matter, but... And I was like... Because I read that. And I was like, huh. So I was like, what flower? And I found it, and I'm like, what do you mean it colored it? Like, I saw the little bit of green, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm almost done with the route. And I went back to an old save and looked it up, and I was like, oh, shit. It's, like, totally just an outline to, like, it's actually, like, the white. You can barely tell. But I was like, damn. Anyway. So I didn't know that was a thing, but... I slowly revealed the top of my breast. The dull color of my mark was now a bright red, as deep in color as a rose. And when the mark is prominent... Wait, I've heard that before. I've heard that before. Yesterday. A return here when the mark is prominent. Look, Emilio's voice is going to be all over the place. Wait, is this the mark that Emilio was talking about? When you show up, Emilio's like, I know what you did last night. I cannot believe that. I'm sure it has not the sex. I'm sure it has something to do with, like, the trust and the, like, whatever. But, like, it's still funny. It's still fucking funny. You're like, oh my god. I'm like a hypercolor fucking t-shirt. Like, I heard from Dante that this mark was proof that I was the key maiden. Maybe this mark has another role besides proving my identity. No, it can't be. Dante looked confused as he spoke in disbelief. He's like, did I do this? It appears Emilio knows much more about the relic than any of us. We should talk to him again. I think so too. Dante's next course of action would lead to the quickest results. Let's go back to the ruins. If what Emilio said is true, we may be able to see him there again. Preparing. Ooh! Oh god. Oh no, I'm worried about this. Oh! Huh, I see. Understood. Couldn't help but frown as I spoke on the phone. I heard what's been happening at Falce. Sounds like things aren't going too well. Yeah, now's the time, huh? We're ready to move. You better not die on us, you hear? Dante nodded in agreement. With that, the day's itinerary was decided. Oh god. It's gonna be a showdown at the fucking ruins, and Emilio's gonna be like, bitch! Back off my sacred land! Like, you don't mess with the fucking... It may be a ruin, but no violence in the church. You know, except for that time when Sister Sophia got bitch slapped so hard she almost died. She died temporarily and then came back. We were back at the ruins again. But this time, instead of the young boy, a different person appeared. Yang? I was like, it's either Gilbert or Nicola. Nah, wasn't specking this bitch. What's he doing here? I'm just gonna try it for a second. Hold on. You look surprised. You thought there was anywhere in this town you could hide from me? It's actually kind of fun. But I don't think he can be mean and angry. I don't think I could yell, like, get all angry and I'm gonna kill ya. Like, it doesn't sound threatening. You're like, okay. Sound like a drunk leprechaun. Like, it doesn't... Having too much fun here. Don't underestimate the Lao Shu. I will underestimate you if... Okay. That's actually... Wait. Don't underestimate the Lao Shu. I will when you talk like that. We can't do it to him. An ominous glint appeared in his golden eyes. Did you come here alone? Dante's eyes were already scanning the area for threats. Doesn't seem like there's anyone else around. I didn't see anyone else in sight, but I could tell that Dante was more tense now than he was before. Didn't you notice? My men have already surrounded you. Don't worry, they won't move unless I order them to. You're not going to take us out yet? Come now, it's been ages since we last met. I wanted to catch up without any interruptions. It's really not good. It's just I can't do him justice. I really can't, so I'm sorry. Why are you here? And why now? Like, Dante works, Gilbert works, Orlok works, Nicola kind of works. Fucking Yang doesn't work. Like, Yang, what are you doing to me? He's too good for whatever bullshit trash voices I have. Answering you wouldn't be fun. How about we play instead? Play? Dante and I glared at Yang. You can answer your own questions. Why do you think I came here? You know, his voice is so much sexier in the real accent. Dante's sharp eyes studied Yang, seeking an answer. That's why all of you who can just play games on your own and listen to the voice acting, I do envy you a little bit. But, like, it wouldn't be as much fun for me to just read through and skip. Like, I have more fun doing this, but I do miss the voice acting. Like, because we can't enjoy the full effect, because it would just be kind of annoying, like, you listen to them say... If only certain lines were voiced, it wouldn't be that bad, but when everything's voiced, it's kind of hard, because then you have to reread what they said, and it just takes 3 times longer. Because I'm still going to talk as much as I do. Yang smiled in silence. It seemed as if Yang wasn't going to say anything to us until Dante spoke first. Dante exhaled, then responded. Lao Shu wants Berlone. In other words, the rights that are owned by the Falzone. You secured backing from the members of the church so that you can replace us as Berlone's guardian. Although, why the church would fucking not... Again! Crazy bitches up in there. You only get 50 points for that answer. Yang seemed to be waiting for more, and Dante continued. You said you wanted in on the blessing, but I doubt you have enough faith to believe in the miracles granted by the relic. That's correct. I'm not one of the religious people of this country. I don't believe in God, and I have no interest in any bogus miracles. Whatever this relic is, it's no different to me than any other rotting remains. Look at his sassy bitch face, I love it. Yang smirked, his golden eyes gleaming. Of course, I'm interested in how much it's worth to others. After all, these remains apparently shouldn't exist in the church's eyes. Shouldn't exist? I couldn't hide my surprise at hearing that the church was denying the very existence of the relic. Interesting. They don't want it to come out? Like, it was one of those, oh, we need to keep it secret. Like, okay, because we don't want people... They don't want people to know about it because it... Oh my god! For whatever reason. I don't know. Like, whatever. Yang looked at me curiously, then spoke to Dante. It's because Jesus was a woman and they don't want you to really know. They've been lying to you this whole time. But then why would they be... That's why they're like, you have to protect it. Make sure nobody gets their hands on it and blackmails us with it. But Yang's gonna get his hands on it and blackmail them with... I'm starting to see your point, Yang. Please continue in your Irish accent. I'm just kidding. Yang looked at me curiously, then spoke to Dante. She doesn't know what lies here. Didn't you tell her what it is? Now he sounds like a drunk leprechaun pirate. I'm just trying it. I keep trying it. It's gonna be bad. It's not. Look, if we haven't started Yang's route by the time you get to this, cause like, right now, I got everything else done, bitches. We are fucking, this is full time. Full fucking time on this, cause I love it so much. I was like, get everything else done. Everything else is done. For now. And you like the terrible drunk pirate leprechaun accent, you let me know, and I'll do it when we get to his route. Otherwise, you just get whatever fucking trash thing I can pull out, because... Man, he's too good for the voices that we have, but anyway. She doesn't need to know. Yang chuckled mirthlessly, hearing Dante's stern reply. So that's your way of caring for her? You're not going to tell her? Oh, if you're not going to tell her, I will. What your precious church is hiding. Stop, Yang. Don't say one more word. I feel like Dante was lying to us because then our faith in the church would be destroyed, and that's all we've ever had, right? So, like, he was like, if I tell you, that would be bad. I'd be like, by the way, you're not real, you don't exist. And then you cease to exist. Like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Dante was glaring at Yang, but I whispered to him, It's okay, Dante. I want to know too. Dante bit his lip, hearing my response. Yang grinned ever more coldly. What lies here are remains of someone who shouldn't exist. Someone? As in, you know who it is. After God's son was killed, he emerged from his grave 3 days later and spent 40 days with his disciples before ascending to heaven. Which means his body wouldn't be anywhere on this earth. Ooh. That's right. Interesting. But the truth is quite different. His ascension to heaven was fabricated. His body was transported from the Holy Land to Burlone by the hands of Dante Falzone's ancestor. Now we know where Jesus is. I could feel myself going pale as I slowly began to understand what Yang was saying. If that's true, then... Isn't that right, Falzone? So Dante knew the whole time! You lied to... Why is there like a split line in the middle? Why can't they just have their two sprites on the page? Like, I just noticed that. It's weird. That's right. The Falzone family brought his body here, built a tomb, and buried him. I mean, I love you, Dante, but like, I can understand why you didn't tell us, but you acted like I have no clue, instead of being like, I mean, I knew, but I can't talk about it. Okay, understand. It was ages before the church found out your ancestor did something that couldn't be ignored. Why, the very existence of that body is proof that God's son was a normal human. I mean, duh. Sorry, but duh. That would call into question the very existence of the church. If Burlone's secret was exposed, what could happen as a result was beyond comprehension, which also explains why nobody wants them to be like, we have a holy relic here, which one is it? Can't tell you! Like, that can't be. And the church tied their own noose by perpetrating false teachings, but rather than destroy the remains, they hid them away. It's kind of funny that he knows more about this shit than, like, anybody else. The rest of us are all in shock. Not me, but, like, you know. The rest of the good church-going people are all in shock, and he's like, duh. Yang knows all our dirty secrets. Which is why the church gained rule of Burlone and supported the gravekeepers in keeping the graves sealed away. The gravekeepers grew with that power, and as time passed, became rulers of this town. He looks so forlorn and sad, like, they were mean to me. Doesn't he? He has like a sad face on. Aw, you're so precious, you evil bastard. I understand what he was saying, but I couldn't accept it as truth. As I tried to figure out what was really going on, they continued their conversation. What you've said is in the past. The church no longer requires us as gravekeepers. Time takes its toll. Your family devolved into a petty criminal organization, so I'm not surprised. He's just like a slightly deeper toned, bitchy version of fucking, like, Nicola at this point, voice-wise, but it was necessary. At one point, Burlone prospered into a rich and blessed city-state during its history. There needed to be a power besides the government at rule in order to maintain order in the town. So here's the funny thing. They're telling you all the big secret. So, like, when we go into the other ones and we're trying to find the big secret, it's like, well, we already know the big secret. Anyway. Making up excuses, are you? It means nothing if the church doesn't agree. Of course, many in the church disliked the fact that they were supporting the mafia. Which is why they've chosen the Lao Shu. I'd question the sanity of the person in charge. You and me both, sweet cheeks. Me, you and me both. Amusing, isn't it? The church asking one criminal organization to crush another. I have no clue whether that person is a personal vendetta against the Falzone, or maybe they're simply using us. Oh! That's the bigger mystery! It's not, what the fuck is the relic? Okay, because we know. Or like, how do we get it? We got all that. It's the, who's pulling the strings? Who is the puppet master? Who is the puppet master? And then again, I couldn't care less. His plans are of no value to me. I know who the puppet master is. I know. I got it. It's not Leo. No. He's a good boy. He's not going to string any puppets. Not going to master any puppets. He's not going to pull nobody's strings. I could tell that Yang meant what he said. His cold, shimmering golden eyes were devoid of even a trace of compassion. It's been 5 years since I arrived here. Playing with you folks and listening to the church was a good way to pass the time. But I'm getting bored. I'm not attached to this land. It's just, he's gonna hurt me so much. Like, literally, mentally, emotionally, physically, in the game. And, like, for realsies, when we go down his route, but look at him, he is so goddamn, every fucking man in this game is goddamn beautiful in their own way, but, like, he is gonna, like, he's gonna be that route that I'm gonna be like, I should hate this, and I hate it, but I love it. I don't know. Yang drew dual blades that reflected the twilight in their brilliant silver. Dante slowly moved in front of me and began talking to Yang. Yang, you said that you can't fulfill your goals with us dead. Killing us now would mean you lose access to the relic. True. The church did tell me not to kill you two. Yang smiled and took a step forward. It's funny that the church would be like, don't kill them. But do you know? I hate the church. Yeah, that wouldn't be good for an Irish accent. I hate the church. What? How dare you? It'd be funny. Many of my men have died, and with the way the Falzone family is now, the church will likely come after me next. If so, I may as well make them regret it. Yang snickered coldly. Yang's snickered coldly? I think Yang snickered coldly. That was a weirdo. Is he serious? He's gonna kill us just to cause problems for the church? I hoped he was lying, but seeing the blades in his hands made me think differently. He was too dangerous. My body froze in fear, seeing the man quietly close in on us, his face shrouded in madness. Emilio, save us! Emilio! So, who wants to die first? I'm nice enough to let you choose. I have no time to play with you. You're the one who's going to die, Yang. Dante quickly drew his gun and fired straight at Yang. Of course he dodged. Like, come on. And Dante looks shocked, like, what? Look at Dante's gorgeous fucking eye and the shocked face. It's, like, beautiful, and his eyelashes look 8 feet long, and he's very feminine. He gives me Naruto vibes from fucking Persona. Like, all of a sudden, you're like, Dante, were you a woman this whole time? Had me fooled. It's just his eyes so gorgeous. I don't know why he's shocked. I mean, you fought him in the alley, and you know how quick he can dodge, so. Yang tilted his body to avoid the shot, which simply grazed him. That's still closer than you got when you were in an alley. It can't be. I can't believe he avoided that. Again, did we forget that we fought him, and he, like, was, like, doing his fucking kung fu move, and, like, could, like, fucking Matrix over here? Like, did we forget that he Matrixed the shit out of us? Yang kicked the ground and charged at Dante like a wild beast. Dante was holding his position, covering me. More shots rang out. The bullets hit their target. The headpiece over his crimson hair was broken. His arms and thigh were bleeding, and yet Yang continued to charge as if he couldn't feel the pain. You know, it seems like it's taken too long for him to... You're like, how far away was he? It's like that scene in Monty Python where it's just like running. And then he's going to be on top of you, but, you know, it's supposed to be happening in a split second, but... You bastard! Too bad for you. I was raised in Gaolong Sengzai? Dude, I don't know. I'm not that frail. He's also been hyped up on whatever the fuck Lee has been passing out. Yang closed in on Dante and swung his silver blades down from each side. Dante pulled the trigger again. Oop! The bullet pierced Yang's body, but his blades swiped across Dante's torso. I kind of knew. I'm like, oh, he just got scissor chopped. The bullet must have weakened the blow, as they didn't slash through completely. Yang repositioned the bloody blades and created distance between them. Still alive, Falzone, though I doubt you can make it for much longer with that wound. Dante glared at Yang while holding his wound with his hand. Dark red blood spilled over the ground. Die! No! Seeing Yang charge, I quickly jumped in front of Dante. Yang sneered. Without any remorse, he swung his silver blade and... the magic cross. I was prepared to accept my fate when... a high-pitched sound resonated. Yang's blade was blocked by another blade in front of me. Who? Oh, okay. I was... duh. I should have seen that coming. I was like, who the fuck do we... everybody else uses guns. Who the fuck do we know is going to be using, like, some kind of a blade, huh? I'm sorry, Orlok. I forgot about you for a moment. Orlok? Why? Orlok glared at Yang and muttered, my mission is to protect the Key Maiden. With that, Orlok charged at Yang with all his might. All I had to do was jump in front of Dante the whole time. Good! I always wanted to play with you. Their swift movements were accompanied by the charging of the clanging of blades. Wow, I can't read. I turned to Dante to check his wounds. He's cut deep. He's bleeding too much. He needs to get it stitched, now. First, I need to stop the bleeding. Dante quietly held me back from tending to his wound. Dante? This is fine. I can still fight. No, you can't! Yang's laughter resounded across the hills. His battle with Orlok continued. This shit's good. Entertain me, Orlok. Don't you dare go easy on me. I'll end this quickly. Their blades clashed to a halt, sending an ear-piercing clang through the air. That's some fucking CG there. Not CG, but you know what I mean, like the little... We've already seen the slashes and the fun things, but that is like, damn, that's like an explosion. Their eyes made contact as they glared at one another. It's supposed to show the intensity of their blades clashing. It works. Yang took the initiative. Ha! Yang forcefully parried Orlok's dagger. Orlok jumped backwards, then lowered his body to charge at Yang. But then... let's see you fend this off! Yang wasn't facing Orlok anymore. He turned in my direction, then threw his blade straight at me. No! Orlok quickly moved towards me and nicked the flying blade with his dagger. The blade changed direction, grazing my arm and landing next to me. Pick it up, Spacey! Before we knew it, Yang was already behind Orlok. Orlok! Blood spewed from his impaled chest. Oh my god, I didn't expect that to happen. Run. You need to run. Orlok pleaded with me to escape as I sat there with Dante in my arms. Why is he... Orlok was still trying to protect me despite being close to death. Is it because I'm the Key Maiden? He's willing to throw his life away for it? Is the relic more important than life? Emotions boiled inside me, burning my heart. All I could do was watch on as Orlok tried to protect me. Yang didn't give another look at the bleeding Orlok and strode toward me. Girl, pick up the blade. He pulled out the blade from the ground and headed back to Orlok, now crawling on the ground. Oh god. Boring. Yang's earlier excitement was no longer apparent as he continued kicking Orlok. This is supposed to be the best ending. Guess it doesn't sound like it's the best ending for Orlok. Where the fuck is Emilio? Emilio, goddammit! Get down here and save our asses. He's like, I'm not gonna ruin my robes. They're white. I can't believe you let your guard down. And we were having so much fun, too. What a letdown. And here I was, counting on you to keep things exciting. Oh my god, my chest is so tight. Didn't it dawn on you that I'd go for that girl? If not, that was stupid of you. If Orlok's not Daddy's magic, Yang sounded irritated and began to stab Orlok repeatedly. Oh, you monster! I couldn't look at the horror unfolding before me. I needed to run, but my body wasn't moving. Oh, my chest hurts, guys. Suddenly, Dante placed his hand on my shoulder. Dante? I need your help. What? Dante whispered into my ear. Give me the gun. I took what was in Dante's hand, then nodded in agreement. Oh my god, yes! It better be the gun, and I better fucking kill him. He slowly stood up again and called out to Yang, who was continuing with his atrocities. Stop it, Yang! He's dead. Stop defiling his body. Oh, he's dead? Humans are so easy to break. He wasn't even worth my time. Yang stared at Dante. How about you, Falzone? Will you entertain me instead? Yang is a sadistic motherfucking ass. Look, I kind of love him, but I can't believe you just killed Orlok. Oh, God. Okay. Ugh. Dante quickly pointed his gun. I mean, he's got multiples. The battle commenced once more. Gunshots resounded through the air. None of the bullets even scathed Yang. I hope he gave us a gun, and I want to be the one to take Yang out. It's going to be great. That's what I really hope here. Yang was still bleeding from the wounds he incurred, but was still moving as fast as ever. This has been like the longest 30 minutes of my life, and not in a bad way. I'm just like, holy shit, we've only gone 30 minutes? I'm like, this is so intense. Dante, though, was suffering from his wounds, getting slower and losing precision with each passing moment. You're not going to entertain me, are you? Looks like this is going to end quickly. Ah! Ah! Wounds appeared across Dante's body each time Yang swung his blades. Oh my god. They closed in again for the third time. We know he can't die because it's... Okay, one of the bad endings, he's absolutely going to die. Maybe even in the normal ending, because you know how sometimes the game's like, normal, and you're like, he's dead, how is that normal? Fuck you! I expect it to be like average, like, okay, it's fine. This is best ending. I don't know how this is going to be. Yang pushed Dante back with the flat end of his blade. Dante lost his hold and fell down under the ground. Ha! Yang stepped on Dante's leg to prevent him from moving away. I can't believe we're getting a CG of this. Oh my god. Yang is so psychotically beautiful. Despite the obvious disadvantage, Dante pointed his gun toward Yang. The gun was moving about, unable to keep its target, at which Yang began to laugh. You must be kidding. Where's your thirst for blood, Falzone? You won't be able to kill me like that. Yang's eyes glared like a beast's. But this is the end. You'll die here. You failed to protect this town and the girl. No, we didn't. He gave me a gun. He better have given me a gun. Yang pulled his blade back to stab Dante, when all of a sudden, I pulled the trigger. Fuck yes! Never been more happy in my fucking life! Yes, you did give me a gun, and yes, I did kill this bitch! Oh! Fucking love this MC! This game is amazing! He turned towards me, surprised at the gunfire. For a second, he let his guard down. In the very moment, Dante shot Yang right through the chest. Right in the chest, sorry. Yang was spewing blood from his chest, yet he was laughing with joy. And here I thought you were a little boy. How entertaining this is. But it's not enough. More! I want more! No, it's over. The next moment, a bullet bored through Yang's head. Yang's bloody blade slipped out of his hand. He crumpled to the ground with that same mad smile on his face. Like, shit, okay, right? This whole entire game was like, okay, Dante tortured Faye a little. Okay, whatever. Nothing else. The end. Everyone's getting shot. There's blood everywhere. And you're like, I mean, this whole entire path has been like, it's a Mafia game, really? It's kind of a little fluff. Nope. They just smacked you up. Shut up. There's no fluff in this. I mean, his route, I think, compared to some of the others, is just very tame, and there's not a lot. But Jesus, the end was very dramatic. I appreciate it. Is it finally over? Lord knows. My hand was numb from pulling the trigger. All I did was shoot up in the air. I didn't shoot at Yang. But Aw, man. Okay, fine. I'll give her credit for shooting in the air to distract him, but man, she should have shot him. But maybe it was like, we're not good at it, and we might not actually have killed him, and we would have shot Dante and then been like, well, shit. Okay, fine, but it's not as exciting as if she actually fucking shot him. So I'm going to take a point away for not actually shooting him, but still, points for this. What I did led to someone's death. I couldn't stop my hands from shaking. Yeah, but it would have been Dante's death otherwise. Dante walked towards me and embraced me gently. You did well. He patted me on the head to console me, then apologized quietly. I mean, you're going to be a mafia boss's wife. You got to know how to shoot shit, I guess. And I'm sorry. I'm just surprised by the impact from pulling the trigger. I've never shot a gun before. I responded as boldly as possible so that I could show a strong front to Dante. Dante could see I was feigning bravery and chuckled. I see. I tried to respond to Dante, but then... Huh? Dante! This is when he loses his... falls apart. Dante's body slowly sagged onto me, and I felt his full weight coming down. I didn't have the strength to hold Dante up. I fell onto the ground with him. He's not breathing properly. He's still bleeding from his wound. Wounds, plural. No! I needed to take him to a doctor now. I can't let him go like this. I looked up and saw the sky covered in grayish clouds. Then rain began to fall. Staying out here would only make matters worse. I'm not strong enough to carry Dante. What should I... I looked around helplessly when I noticed the Lao Shu closing in. I can't believe Yang's dead. We're not letting you get away. We're taking your head for that fell zone. It's Gilbert, isn't it? It's Gilbert and, Nicola. Come now. Why not play with us instead? Yep. See, he stands. Somebody else in some other game stood like that. But I don't know where it was from. There in front of me stood Gil and Nicola, surrounded by their men. Why is the Visconti... Why are you both here? We can catch up later, Signorina. The Lao Shu and the Visconti roared and clashed head-on. And can you help? Oh, let's get him out of the rain. Right. Nicola lent his shoulder to Dante so that he could lift him up. If you tell me the twist is that Nicola betrayed us to not actually betray us, to help us, I'm gonna be amazed. Because he's a shady bitch. I tried my best to prop up Dante by lifting his other shoulder, and we headed toward the ruins. I still love him, but we placed Dante next to the altar. Can you tend to his wounds? I'm going outside to help Gilbert. But why, Nicola? I thought you left the Falzone family. I'll explain everything if we all return to town alive. Please, Space, don't let Dante die on us before we return. Nicola... I immediately tended to Dante's wounds as Nicola walked away. I needed to stop his bleeding now. I tore my shawl and used it as a bandage to wrap around his wounds. I took Dante's bloody clothes off and twisted them to use as more bandages. We gotta get the end story, so there's no way we're finishing it in this part. I felt a sharp pain in my hand. Looks like the blade Yang through grazed my hand too. I feel another sharp pain in my heart, seeing the blood roll along the side of my hand. Just being grazed hurts this much. I couldn't fathom how much pain Dante was in now. Probably not as much as you, because it's like all the endorphins have kicked in. The blood from my hand dripped down into the pool of blood seeping from Dante. Oh my god, and we're at the magic altar. It's gonna be like magic healing. Dante, please don't die on me. Without laying another eye on my wound, I continued to try and stop Dante's bleeding. My blood and his blood magic happens when the... I looked up, feeling cold drips of water coming from above the altar. A leak? The water wasn't dripping from the ceiling. It looked like the front near the altar was overflowing. Oh, the font, sorry. Font, a basin inside a church that's filled with water and blessed by priests. People touch this holy water and form a sign of a cross as an expression of their faith, and to renew their baptismal promise. thought it was empty the last time we checked. The drops of water were clear and beautiful. I can't use the water on his wound since it could cause an infection, but I guess I can use it to wipe his face. I dipped a clean end of my shawl into the water in the font. And this is Jesus water. It's Jesus juice. That's kind of gross, but like, there's going to be some kind of magic fucking healing shit happening right now. You know it. Dante. I gently wiped the dried blood from Dante's face, then wiped off the blood on his lips. After intensively tending to Dante's wounds, his bleeding stops. Dante, you're alive! Petrie, you're alive! Yup. You can't say, so-and-so, you're alive! Because then I just think of the land before time. Yes, somehow I feel a little better. Have you been with me all along? His voice sounded a lot stronger than you before. You're like, it's been 2 minutes, but... Dante, thank God. I wiped the tears from my eyes with the back of my hand. Dante's complexion had a lot more color, and his breathing seemed to return to normal. Magic healing. Then all of a sudden... I heard footsteps approaching. Emilio? Emilio! That was quite an ordeal. Are you all right? Emilio! She literally screams at him, Emilio! It's like a Night at the Roxbury. He suddenly appeared in front of us. I fucking love that movie. I used to live on Roxbury Street, so I used to make people watch A Night at the Roxbury every time they came to my house, because I'm like, I'm sure that movie is terrible if you watch it now, but like back in the day, it was funny as shit. I never said I had good taste, okay? Do I look all right to you? I'm not sure if Dante's glare was because of the pain or because of Emilio's question of Dante. I had meant it as a greeting, but I suppose that was uncouth of me. I do apologize. Why are you here, Emilio? Wait, how did you get in here? The Visconti and the Lao Shu are fighting outside. I doubt my answer would be of true benefit. The information now would be trivial to you. Well then, why did you come, Emilio? You must be here for a reason. I thought I mentioned it before. Return here when the mark is prominent. Emilio gave a smile like that of a playful child. I was waiting for you two to return. I assume you remembered my words, which brought you back here. The mark? So you were referring to the mark on her? Indeed, and I also assume that her mark has since become prominent. If so, then that means that you are the rightful successor of the Falzone family. What do you mean? How would my mark prove Dante's blood? He's... Oh god! I do not want to hear this explanation from a child, but... I had no clue what he was talking about. Emilio looked at me and responded gently. Oh, sweetie. You were basically made to be his wife. Huh? We need one with the blood of the Falzone and the Key Maiden in order to break the seal of the relic. At least, I think that's what you both knew. The fact is, there is one more element. Dante's like... Security was required in the process. After all, what lies here is that which is important and critical to all. Emilio continued to speak without any change in expression. The rightful successor of the Falzone family and the Key Maiden needed to be united. I mean, we were united, all right. Only then would the mark on the Key Maiden grant the right to break the seal. I'm assuming it's not just literally physically united. Maybe. Maybe they're going like, no, we mean united in the biblical sense. Or you may be like, hey, we are united in spirit and determination. Sure not. By united, you don't mean... Emilio's like... Chuckles. You're lying. As I stood there, confused by what he said, Dante looked distrustfully at Emilio. Emilio replied calmly. Well, her mark did change color, didn't it? You must know what I'm referring to. Oh, God! Okay, this is awkward. Well... The font of the altar filled on its own. That's proof that you gained the right required. The font is essential for this blessing. You're now ready to break the seal to the relic. Dante was quietly listening to Emilio, who spoke with a childish smile. Congratulations, Dante. The relic is yours. You may now use it to negotiate with the church. Then again, most of the threats against the Falzone are gone now, wouldn't you say? The leader of the Lao Shu is dead. The remaining members will soon be exterminated by Gilbert Redford. It has also been decided that those in the church who assisted the Lao Shu will be exterminated. Exterminated? If you could do that, why wasn't it done much sooner? Seeing my frustration by his reply, Emilio frowned slightly for the first time. Well, that would have been ideal, but it isn't as easy as it sounds. We have politics at work inside the church. We didn't have much choice aside from letting the situation play out. I can't say I don't feel remorseful. Very few in the church knew of the relic, and after many generations, those who were informed brushed it off as a mere legend. Not surprising, considering it's been close to 2,000 years since the Falzone became the Gravekeepers. We also needed to show the church that the Falzone was worth supporting. Emilio spread his arms out wide as if giving his blessing, then spoke in a grand tone.
And now the Falzone have proven they are the rightful gravekeepers and rulers of this land.
'Cause you don't expect that shit. Sorry. The water in the font is proof of it. Your wounds don't hurt much anymore, do they, Dante? It's because of the blessing from the relic. Now that he mentions it, Dante's blood seemed to clot from the moment I wiped his face using the water from the font. I told you, magic healing! At this point, I couldn't deny the fact that the water possessed a mysterious power. Maybe Dante drank a small bit of water when I was wiping his lips. Dante was still not letting his guard down against Emilio. I mean, he's a kid in a church who knows all the shit from 2,000 years ago. A little sus, but, you know, in a weird magic religious way. He glared at him sharply still. Dante slowly opened his mouth. If the Falzone have been rightfully redeemed by the church, then there's no need for me to use the relic to prove my family's status. Emilio blinked with a blank look on his face. He then gasped and stared back at Dante, speaking in a surprised tone. You're too pure to be a mafia boss. What if the church betrays you again? That won't happen. We already know how to break the seal to the relic. We broke a seal, all right. Oh, God. I'm not sorry, but I am. I am sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, God. And they'll be risking the truth of the relic going out in the open if they betray us. I doubt the church is that stupid. Therefore, I don't see the need to use the relic. And that makes sense. What happened this time isn't a common occurrence, after all. Rest assured that your family is safe, so long as you're alive, and you relay your duties to your children to come. Emilio, does that mean... One of the reasons why this all happened is because proper steps weren't taken for Dante to head the family. You know what I'm talking about, right, Dante? Your father, the previous Falzone boss, Silvio Falzone, was assassinated before passing on his duties. Which is why you didn't have the proper information about the relic. True. I was supposed to inherit the duties in full when I became the boss. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, well, what happens if he dies before... That's exactly what happened. Dad died before he There's no backup plan for that? The backup plan is, like, weird assassinations, the church is against you, some kind of Dan Brown level fucking shit going on here? Like... Having a kill a bit? Like... Threaten to resurrect Jesus? Like, that kind of shit? Like... Okay, sure, that's the backup plan. Make sure you write it all down so we can tell the kids Dante Jesus. Like, and that gave the opportunity to those who despise the Falzones to make their move. The duty of a disciple is to prevent such an event from happening, but our disciple, Orlok, was a bit of an irregular, so to speak. I like how he's not he's like our disciple. You're talking like, you're like 10. It's so amazing. Orlok. Emilio's words reminded me of Orlok, who sacrificed himself to protect me. That's so sad. That did hurt. I forgot about it. I put it in the back of my mind because I don't want to deal. I didn't fully understand who he was, even after he appeared in front of me so many times. And I wonder who dies in all the other routes. Jesus. What were Orlok's duties? What did he have to bear as a disciple? And the easiest way to explain it is that he was trained by the church to be their sword. His mission was to protect the Key Maiden and to report any problems relating to you two or the relic back to the church. And as I said earlier, he was supposed to relay the details of the relic to Dante when his father passed to prevent the situation from being abused. But he didn't for some reason. Indeed, bad luck overlapped with worse luck. Interesting, so now we gotta find out in Orlok's route why wouldn't he tell Dante? The person who oversaw Orlok was the very person behind the oppression against the Falzone.
So who oversees Orlok?
Orlok's boss is the puppet master. But who's Orlok's boss? So that means Berlone was simply dragged into whatever politics were going on in the church? Church politics are fucking crazy. They start wars, motherfucker. Religion starts a lot of wars, I'm just saying. Words aren't enough to express apology. Dante was obviously not happy hearing that. I could sense he was regaining himself again. Like he's pissed at the church now. It's nice that you're returning to normal. I think you're all better now. The situation out there should resolve soon. I suppose I should take my leave now. Wait, Emilio! Emilio! I hurriedly tried to hold him back as he turned around to walk away again. What will happen to Berlone? Nothing will change. No, now that the Lao Shu is gone, I suppose there will be a change. In any case, the lives of the people will go on. You have nothing to worry about. Can you tell me one last thing? Go ahead, but this is your last question. Oh fuck, make it a good one, Spacey. His bright and starry eyes were fixed on me. Who are you? He said he was with the church, but it seemed he knew far more than anyone else. Who exactly are you? And don't just say Emilio. His youthful appearance was also deceiving, as he seemed to instead be a wise sage. I told you he was like thousands of years old. I am... Emilio gave a gentle smile. I'm a descendant of the one who helped the very first Falzone build the grave here. The Falzone family lived on this land to guard the relic, and we watched from within the church to oversee its care. I heard that from my father before. There's a family that exists within the church that supports the Falzone family. Our duty is to simply oversee.
So that's why it's 10 years old. He fucking knows more than all the adults here.
My intervention here is actually something out of the ordinary. But the church was at fault this time, so I had to intervene. He laughed, then closed one eye jokingly, as if signaling something to us.
He's fucking winking at us!
I'd appreciate it if you kept my existence a secret. Now then, I think I'm done here.
He's winking! Oh, fucking Emilio.
If you'll excuse me, I'll always be watching over your stars.
He's so adorable.
Wait! I didn't have a chance to say farewell. He turned his back and walked away. What a mysterious person. Both of us were in awe of the oddly divine aura that he exhibited. We were still dazed at what happened and stood quietly in the ruins.
Dante!
Nicola came running towards us, snapping us back to reality.
We're done getting rid of the rats. Hope you had a chance to rest, Dante. I have to say, a waste of a good coat. Did you have to get so much blood on it?
Fucking Gilbert.
I could have saved my coat if you came here a lot earlier.
Dante responded a bit angrily at Gil's playful words. Oh, okay, that makes more fucking sense. The phone call? He, stepped out in the middle of the night to make a phone call. He was making the phone call to Gil, and that's who Gil was talking to on the phone. Wow. It took me this long. Wow, I'm not. Big brain right here. Hearing Dante's retort to Gil made Nicholas sigh with relief. Dante, I'm glad you're all right.
I'm not all right. I need answers from you, Nicola. But first, I think you need to see a doctor. It's not like you're cured, Dante. But let's save the rest for another day. I have something to talk to you about.
Gil lent his shoulder to Dante, and Nicola quietly helped prop up his other shoulder. It wasn't totally magic healing, just sort of magic healing. Half healed. By the time we stepped out of the ruins, the sky was painted crimson. It's like, I gave you enough healing to be able to get to the hospital, and then you really heal. It's still gonna hurt a little, but you ain't gonna die though. Standing on the now silent hill, I could tell that the long battle had finally come to an end. There's an after thing. This isn't the end. There might be credits, but there's an after, because we still gotta get the ending. Boss! What are you doing? You need to stay put.
Laying down is only making me tired.
If anything ever happens to Leo in any of the fucking routes, I will riot. I'm just saying.
No, you get yourself down. She told you to stay put too.
Leo's right, Dante. We don't want your wounds to open. I'll get you a cafe latte, so please stay put on the sofa.
He's glaring at us. It's so cute.
It's not gonna work on me, ruffles his hair as we walk away. Dante wasn't happy, but he listened and quietly sat himself up on the sofa. Carlo was rubbing himself against Dante as if trying to console him. What happened felt like so long ago. I pondered while getting his coffee prepared. We came back to the Falzone Manor, then had the doctor tend to Dante's wounds. The doctor was surprised that he was still alive after sustaining that kind of injury. Everything that happened, including what Emilio said, felt like a dream. Regardless, Dante was alive. That alone was proof that what happened back inside the ruins was real. And why did the Visconti come to the ruins that day? It seemed that Dante made a deal with Gil back when I was abducted.
Oh, okay, so back in the...
The doctor was done with his examination. Dante explained to me why they suddenly appeared at the ruins.
The deal was to exchange you for my family's rights.
I remember that. It was burned into my memory because of how shocking it was.
But Gilbert refused my offer and instead proposed a counteroffer.
Was this after I left the room? What was his offer? Dante closed his eyes and took a breath before answering me.
If there was ever a situation where the Visconti was dragged into the conflict, we'd work together to defeat the Lao Shu. It was a cooperative agreement.
So he's like, I don't want all your shit. He's like, but if you have to fight, if I have to get dragged into the fight, we're gonna beat them together. You just wait. What? What do you get out of this?
Before the Lao Shu came to power, Berlone was controlled by the Falzone and the Visconti. The Visconti separated from us to form their current family, but we still got along fairly well.
Come to think of it, crimes did only seem to increase within the past few years. The Lao Shu existed a while back, living along the back alleys of Berlone. But they were a very small group. It was only when Yang joined that things changed.
It was a lot easier and simpler for the Visconti to get rid of the Lao Shu by timing their actions with us. It's clear what his priorities were when he refused my offer for the family rights. He has no interest at all in gaining control of Berlone.
Really?
According to him, he's far too important to be tied to controlling Berlone, so he has no interest in the town. He's not going to die an easy death.
Oh, stop it, Dante.
Ever since that meeting, I've been sharing what information I had with Gilbert. Not that I could disclose everything, just what I knew wouldn't harm us.
So that's why the Visconti came to the ruins that day? Dante took a sip of the cafe latte I made. He then frowned slightly.
Space.
He must have noticed that I didn't put the usual amount of sugar in it.
Dante, too much sugar is bad for you. You're injured, you know. Moderation would be a good thing for you.
Is Nicola back?
Ah, Nicola! Welcome back!
Nicola walked in nonchalantly and Leo greeted him as if nothing happened.
Are we trying to say his shady was shady?
It's been a few days since the battle at the ruins. Nicola came to visit the Falzone family to speak with Dante in private. After that, Nicola reached out to me, saying he wanted to apologize.
I wanted to end all the conflict by handing you over to the Visconti.
You'd never truly betrayed Dante, had you? He was simply putting up a front to make it seem as though he betrayed the Falzone. Oh my god, so he was not shady! This is the most unexpected thing. They're like, we have the body of Jesus. Okay. Nicola isn't actually shady. What? What? Huh? Double take on that one. No, because he's shady as fuck. But his shady wasn't shady. What did I say before? I'm like, if he turns out that he wasn't really shady and he was just doing this to help us all along, I'd be shocked because he seems so fucking shady. So this is actually more shocking to me than him fucking trying to hand us over and being a shady bitch. I still loved him. It didn't matter. It didn't matter even if he was like, okay, peace out, and like totally backstabbed us. I'd still love him, but I'm just saying this bitch.
Speaking of which, I owe you an apology.
For my abduction? That and the fact I wasn't necessarily a gentleman to you. I chose words that would hurt you, and I pressured you to feel bad about being here. It was simply because I felt your existence as the key maiden would bring danger to Dante as the boss of the Fell Zone. I know it wasn't your fault, but regardless, I took that kind of actions against you. You were also a pawn of fate, but I still... That's all right, Nicola. I'm just happy to see you come here to apologize. He's actually a good boy? I'm so shocked. You cannot use this voice actor and not make me think that he's sus as fuck, okay? Because he's always kind of shady. It doesn't matter how much you love him in the end, and he turns out to be a good boy. Well, okay. You know what? I should have expected that, I guess. I shouldn't be so surprised, because... You! Oh my god, you're so sweet, I love you. You're shady as fuck. And in the end, no, we still love you. You turn it around in the end. He comes full circle. You're like, I love you, you goddamn best. No, I love you anyway. Like, I should have fucking known. I should have known. Should I? She's like that. The character he is in one of the other mobile games that I play exactly the same way. Probably. Haven't gotten that right yet, but anyway. Spacey. I know, and everyone knows how much you care about Dante and the entire family. Dante explained to the entire Falzone family that they were working with the Visconti to defeat the Lao Shu. Therefore, he had Nicola fake a betrayal in order to infiltrate the Visconti. I don't think Dante knew about it, though. He was too upset about it. And that it was all necessary so that they could deceive Yang. Most of the members didn't even know Nicola betrayed the family, which explained why none of them doubted Dante, speaking out as the family boss. Well, some who knew about the betrayal were surprised at hearing the speech, like Leo. He came to accept it as fact, saying that if it was top secret, then it can't be helped. By the way, is Julia in the kitchen? Yes. Maybe I can get something to eat then. I'm starving here. You didn't eat at the Visconti's place? Oh, well, the food they prepared there didn't suit my tastes. Nicola was working as Dante's right-hand man to help the family while Dante recovered. He was also acting as liaison with the Visconti, keeping him busy almost every day. Yeah, I'll go with you then. I'm getting pretty hungry too. We're might go a little over because I want to see if we can wrap it up here, but... I forgot. Leo, the lady at Regina's store, said she wanted you to see her. Regina? Maybe it's for that time I got the hooligan out of her store. Nicola and Leo talked their way out of the kitchen, talked their way out to... I'm supposed to be to the kitchen, like best friends. The Falzone family's reputation that had taken a hit was now starting to turn around, all thanks to the effort of everyone involved. Peace was returning to Berlone. All that tension that filled the town seems like it happened just yesterday. The Lao Shu were gone, and their absence brought a greater security to the town. The Lao Shu did leave some problems behind, but those should be dealt with soon. I hope you heal as soon as possible, Dante. You're too kind. Do you think? He suddenly became quiet, pondering over something. After a moment of thinking, he looked at me and asked, Do you want to go back to the church? Huh? That caught me off guard. Dante continued to speak rather hesitantly. I appreciate your looking after me since we returned from the ruins. But now that the threat's gone, if you want to go back to the church, that would make our relationship difficult. I should go back. I let Sister Sophia know how things are now, but I haven't seen her for a while. I'm sure you're all waiting for me. I see. I'm nearly back to normal, so you're free to go to the church and... I sandwiched his cheeks with my hands on both sides, then stared into his eyes. I need to see the CG of us fucking doing this to him. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so glad they gave us... it went white, so I was expecting, but oh my god, I love this. Look at his little shocked, blushy face. He's as goofy and awkward as we are. He has goddamn saucer eyes. I love it. His beautiful azure eyes flickered like the Adriatic, surprised by what was happening. Dante, do you remember what you told me? I thought you said you wanted me to be by your side. Or were you lying to me? It wasn't a lie. I promise. Well, why are you asking me if I want to go back to the church then? Well, I just thought that you wished to go back already. You came here only because we forced you to. You don't want to be taken away from your home, right? Sure, the church is my home, but...
Oh, my feelings for you won't change whether you're here or whether you're at the church. I just don't want to hold you here against your will anymore.
No, I have Stockholm Syndrome now, but I absolutely am with her, like, bitch, if you go back to that church, I'm backhanding you. I looked deep into his eyes and gave him my honest reply. Thank you, Dante. Your concern makes me so happy. Then again, what you said made me feel like you were denying my feelings.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you first how you felt. I probably was too scared to ask, so I came to a conclusion on my own.
Oh. Dante then looked at me seriously. His eyes locked on mine.
Space, what do you want? Do you wish to return to the church?
I smiled and responded,
I want to be with you, Dante.
So beautiful.
I'm a mafia boss. We made it through this time, but there's no telling what could happen next. You could be put on the front lines of danger, too. Even still, you want to be with me?
Yes. Even if you are a mafia boss, even if I have to live a life of danger, I still want to be with you.
Understood.
Dante looked at me and accepted my words with resolve. He then let out a brief sigh.
You still have to go to church, though. You need to talk to Sister Sophia.
Will you come too?
Of course. Sister Sophia is your parent and guardian, isn't she? I need to pay my respects and explain to her what our future holds.
He basically has to ask. By the way, I'm keeping her. Oh,
thank you, Dante.
Took my hands off Dante's face, knowing that his words were heartfelt and true. Everyone at church is going to be surprised. The church was still precious to me and my home, but I want to be with Dante. I would never have expected back then to ever feel this way, but this feeling has grown to the point that was now my deepest desire.
What happened? Answer us, Emilio!
Why expel Bishop Rossberg? He was among the most pious of us. Oh, they said something about the Ross person, right? Didn't they say that? They mentioned it in one of the other things, and I was like, are they talking about, like, Faye or Lon were talking about it, right? But I thought maybe they were getting, like, Gilbert's name fucked up. Okay, that explains. All right.
Why aren't you answering us? It's your duty to explain what happened.
They can say what they please. I have no interest in their questioning. They wouldn't know about the relic. If so, I have nothing to explain. The priest began to yell louder, and soon their words became laced with anger.
Is, like, Emilio in charge of this shit? Because that's amazing.
It was then that a voice admonished the priests in the room. The priests held their breath as the head of the church reprimanded them to be silent. Power and politics are quite the hassle.
Who's the head of the church?
I left the room and hurried out to the garden.
I want to know who the head of the church is.
How are the stars tonight? The stars were silently drifting in the night sky.
We could have stopped, but I thought maybe this was the end, so.
Their brilliance portended the future of those for whom they were ordained. The children may misunderstand what's truly happened. The Key Maiden was not one who had been randomly chosen from the rabble. That person was, should I say, one who was bound to fate, to the Falzone's successor. Astrology guides us to find that person of destiny. The stars can be fickle. One slight shift could change the entire course of fate. I must say, it's quite interesting that the keys are always male and female. A silver and gold light. I suppose they were befitting of obtaining the relic. I saw the color of their life's brilliance.
Emilio was, like, fucking way more magical than he pretends to be, I'm just saying. I'm a descendant of this family, but you have, like, so much more going on. Like, you are not normal, Emilio, and we don't care. I kind of love him.
I saw their coming of fate. I wanted to thank them for showing me their pride from the bottom of my heart. It's good to live long, I suppose.
Did you say live long or... Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering, it's good to live long. Amelia was literally 2,000 years old, is all I'm saying.
A few days later, Dante and I went to church. Signor Falzone, please do take good care of her. Sister Sophia was surprisingly open and positive about what we told her. Maybe she had some kind of sense that this was going to happen. But to everyone else at church, our story came from nowhere. What? You? A Falzone? You're not coming home, sis?
Who's Giovanni? We were all waiting for you to come back too! Laura and Giovanni's shoulders drooped. Jean was glaring at Dante. Jean's fucking glaring. Dante's gonna beat that fucking kid. Oh, whoops. Sorry, hit that button by accident. I had to go turn my light.
Hey, even if you're the boss, I'm not gonna let you get away with it. Away with if you ever make her cry.
Fucking Jean. Calm down, Jean. Don't worry about me. I'll still be coming here. I'll help with the provisioning. It'll be just like before. Isn't that right, Dante? Yes, and you're free to do what you want. Dante gently smiled at me, despite only now hearing what I wanted to do. In the Falzone family, will offer more support to the church than before.
Well, if Sis is still gonna come to church, I guess it's all right.
Space, you have been a very obedient child since your youth. And now you've found something that you want, all by yourself. Which is why I'm very happy to hear what you've told me. I wish you every blessing.
I was so not Sophia's voice. I don't know what happened there, but whatever. Sister Sophia.
Me too!
Elena jumped towards me and grabbed my hands. She then looked sternly into my eyes.
I'll be praying for the best. After all, I haven't ever seen you this happy before. I can tell you finally found something really precious to you.
Elena,
to be honest, I'm gonna be sad that you're not around, but we can see each other anytime. So I want to see you off with a smile.
I have this friend Leo, Elena. Thank you so much, Elena. The blessings from everyone warmed my heart. I smiled as I never had before, hearing all their heartfelt words. I mean, yeah, we're moving out of the church, but we're always gonna, you knew damn well she was gonna come and see everyone still and like work with the church and do churchy things, you know what I mean, volunteer and help out and stuff. She just doesn't live here anymore. I may have been living life without any real dreams of my own back then. I would simply wake up, work, eat, and sleep. Literally my life right there. But my daily life changed the day I began living with Dante. There were times when we collided, not understanding each other's feelings. I remembered vividly how close to death we were, back when we sought the relic. The days were far from normal, but we overcame our trials, and now we had a life that I so adored. I can think with Dante, be with Dante, as we decided our future. A future that held unlimited possibilities. A future that I appreciated from the bottom of my heart. There were a few typos so far in this one, but not as bad as Color X Miles Unlimited, so they did a way better job localizing this one. Ooh, okay, cool. I was gonna say, there's definitely an after scene. I'm sorry, Dante. Everyone just... Don't worry. I'm a little tired, but they're your family. Dante was precious to me, and the children could probably sense that. They pestered and played with Dante until late into the evening. I could tell he was very tired. No doubt he hadn't played with kids like this before. You gotta get used to it. Build up your stamina, buddy. Why are you laughing? I'm just happy to see another side of you, Dante. Dante frowned as if he didn't want to show this other side to me, but hearing me chuckle brought a smile to his face. He's just blushing. He's gonna blush. And do you mind if we go inside before we head back? Why, of course. We may as well go inside to say a prayer while we're here. The sunset was shining light into the church. No one else was around. The serenity and fantastical shimmering of the light were beautiful beyond words. We walked toward the altar. Dante stopped at the front, then turned towards me. Then, huh? Oh, wait, is this it? Is this happening? He took my hand and got on one knee. Oh! Okay, I'm sorry. When he was like, can we go back in the church? You're like, oh my god. It's not a surprise wedding, but it's gonna be a proposal, isn't it? In the church. It is. No! This CG looks so different than the other ones. It's almost like a watercolor. Like, it, you know what I mean? My heart was racing. Dante gently kissed my hand with the utmost reverence. His graceful demeanor was like that of a storybook prince. The warmth from his lips sent a surge of heat through my fingertips. Dante? Surprised, I spoke his name, but he didn't remove his lips from the back of my hand. Soon he lifted his head to look up at me. His warm breath tickled my hand as it left. Okay, her face is a little derpy, but kind of adorable, but like, God, he's gorgeous. Spacey Adornato. He shook a little, but with a serious voice spoke my name. He shook a little. It's because he's a marshmallow. Please listen to what I have to say. I thought before that I only needed to protect you as part of my mission, and that was the only thing I sought to accomplish. I didn't have any particular emotions beyond that.
You're like, okay.
But as I spent time with you, my heart, my soul began to change. You taught me that there are things I could never know from afar. I couldn't take my eyes off of him.
I mean, right? I have to read, but like, look at how beautiful he is. Like, both the side profile, tiny one in the middle, and then the one on the right. God.
We both looked at each other as I listened. Being with you made it difficult to be a ruthless boss. At first I was distressed, but then a part of me accepted what was happening. Dante's gentle and kind voice bore a hint of self-reproach at the thought. Seeing your smile makes me want to see more of it. I want to bring you true joy and happiness. Space, please grant me your heart, your feelings, now and forever. I'm gonna die. I love you. Please always stay by my side. I was speechless. All I could do was nod in response to his heartfelt confession. Yes, Dante. I love you too. Please allow me to stay by your side forever. Dante smiled like a young child, hearing my reply. Look at his beautiful face! I'm gonna fucking die. I love you, Space. And from the bottom of my heart.
Are the church bells ringing in the background? There are. You can't hear them. They're so quiet. Sorry.
His words ended with the toll of the church bells, signaling the coming of evening in Berlin.
How fucking beautiful! I'm gonna cry!
The conflict in this town drew to a close. A new age was to begin. The grand toll of the evening bell hearkened the coming of night. So too did it toll for our beginning, a toll of blessing for a new future together.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I can't read that. I can read Finn, but I can't read the rest of this. That's not fair. Somebody should have translated that. They were like, we don't speak Italian or whatever the hell. Oh, what's this? Oh, wait, is this an end credit scene? We can't watch it. I don't want to get copyrighted. Oh, no, it's just the end of the thing. Okay. Dante's short story is now unlocked. We're not reading that. I'm sorry. You don't get that. No, it's too late. We're going to have to read that some... Oh my god, what is happening here? Gallery. What's this? Music? Extra? Oh, that's just the extras. Dictionary. Progress. Short story. Oh, what? Why can't I... What the hell is happening here? Oh, look how beautiful it looks when you... Oh, hi. We're not going to read that. My freaking thing, you're like, I'm going over, and it's like up, down, all the way. Oh, okay. Right, because there's a couple in some of the other routes. We might get some... others. So let's see. Oh my god, we can move the image around? I guess if they're big. Next CG, left, right, toggle A. What's toggle A? Oh, that's changing. Oh, no. Sorry. That's the only thing I don't like. I don't want it to go back. I don't like when you click it. I want it to just go back to the original one. But it goes back. I don't like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if there isn't one and we do A, it goes back to this. So... that's the only thing I don't like about when they do that in CGs. I like it better when you click A. If I clicked A 5 times, it should go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But instead, it goes back to the main menu, and that's not the back. But I don't like that. That's the only thing that's my complaint with the gallery. Because I want to be able to see the differences in the CGs, but if you click it, it goes back, and then you gotta reload, and, like, this is a way better way to, like, look at the CGs. Look at fucking him holding that goddamn tiny little kitten. The kitten is, like, smaller than his hand. It's fucking adorable. You know what I mean? I guess we'll have to just go back and see if there are ones that are, Oh, the one with the kitten did have 2. Hold on. Oh, right, okay, because he looked back. Alright. Alright. Or I wish there was some kind of an indicator somewhere that showed you there was another one so that you knew not to hit the A button, aside from me having to fucking remember. You know? This whole scenario, but I just love this CG of him because he's like, what the fuck is happening? He's like totally fucking confused. I love it. This is also quite like, hi, well, hello. This game was good to us with the CGs, it really was. They're all great. You know, like sometimes the sprites will go and then you go to CGs and you're like, people look kind of awkward, like sometimes it's a little off. No, these ones were all fucking spot on and good. I mean, hi. Oh, hello, Dante. And I do like that we didn't stay like we were a good church girl, but we did not stay that way with Dante. Oh, hello. It's like it's the modern age. It's 1925, bitch. I'm a woman. I can do what I want. Control my own sexuality. Good for us. I'm proud of us. And that one didn't have a second one. We're missing a lot of his. I know there's 2 in one of the other routes. But I think this one has another one, yeah. I know it said in the normal ending there's 2 CGs. I don't know if it means like 1 CG with 2 versions of it or what, but... Oh. Look at this. Look at his beautiful face! It's so cute, I can't help it. And they're back to the beginning. I feel like... Oh, honestly, seriously, this adorable one of him holding the fucking kitten is like... I love this one, but at the same time, this is 100% fucking like... That's fucking Dante right there. That's like... It really is. I love them all. My god, they're all good. There's always those times where you have a game and you're like, this is my favorite CG, or this one's really good and this one's good. This one, you're like, there's so many really good I don't know, but... Here we go. But yeah, I guess we'll start in the next part doing some of the other endings. I know this part was long, but like, wanted to get that good ending. We'll start some of his other endings. I don't know how long it's going to take, if we'll be able to get them all done. He's got a normal ending, he's got his tragic ending, and then he's got 2 bad endings. So he's technically got 3 bad endings and a normal ending, and so we'll start those in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.